All right, we had the face off. Well, we didn't actually have a face off. It was kind of like a face off slash shoulder off. That's what Usyk was facing. But we had the final press conference. So tomorrow, well, it'll be today by the time this video goes up, we will have had the weigh-in, which I'm really looking forward to because I'm excited to see what both guys weigh. That's a really, really exciting one for me, and it's an important one as well. We'll talk about that whenever that happens. But we have had the final press conference today. Now, let's talk about it. A lot of people want to know my thoughts on the face-off, even though it wasn't sort of a face-off, but they want to know my thoughts, right? Let's bring it back a little bit. So this week, it's, for me anyway, I felt that Fury's looked nervous. His body language has been a bit off. Everything is between his eyes to how he's speaking. Everything is. I'm not saying he's slurred or anything like that, but he just doesn't seem, or didn't anyway, seem his normal self. The public workout, I was saying, the sweat was profuse. It was crazy. And the interview he gave with Coogan, amongst others, it's just something seemed off with Tyson Fury. Now, go back to the early press conferences we had for this fight, going back a couple of months now. It was Tyson Fury really going at Alexander Usyk. I mean, the first press conference they had, he was like really, really going at Alexander Usyk and, just looking for that reaction. He's been trying his best throughout the course of the build-up to this fight to try and get that reaction. It's never came from Alexander Usyk. Alexander Usyk strikes me as someone who it's going to be very, very, I would even say it's probably nigh on impossible to really get to him mentally. I know up until maybe about a year or so ago, his English is still not perfect, but it's got a lot better in recent times. I know, like, going back a little while, it would have been harder because, of course, he doesn't obviously speak English, or he didn't speak fluent English. He speaks a lot better English now. But the whole build-up, you've never really seen Usyk phased or rattled or really anything. With Tyson Fury, it's hard to say. I don't want to say he's necessarily been rattled, but I think he's been trying these mind games that have normally worked with other guys, and with Usyk, he's having no success with it. Now, when I look at the face-off, because a lot of people are really looking at that and saying, "Oh, Fury's, it's over. It's done." It's a strange one because I go back to the Wilder rematch, and I remember at the time I was trained in a pro boxing gym at the time, and I remember even coaches in the gym when Fury weighed in for that Wilder fight, and he came in 270 something, can't remember the exact weight, and he weighed in with his shirt on. People in the gym, they were all saying, "Oh yeah, it's a Wilder win. It's a formality. He's done it. He's checked out, gone. He's done." No, checked out mentally. And what happened? That was arguably Tyson Fury's. I would say it probably was. That was his best performance. Certainly, in my opinion, I would say that was even better than the Klitschko performance. It was a brilliant performance, a very entertaining fight as well. And a lot of people at the time, and I was still picking Fury to win that fight, were like, okay, we got that one wrong. Now with this one, it's a stranger one because Fury back then, I don't think was as worried about his body breaking down. He knew what he was dealing with Deontay Wilder for one. At the end of the day, he'd already fought Wilder once, and he knew all I need to do is fix these things and I'll be better, and then we're good to go. And that's exactly what he did. With Usyk, it's really unknown territory. He's tried his best and not succeeded to try and get to Usyk, get him rattled, and he's not really been able to do that. When two fighters are disexperienced, like Fury and Usyk, can you read that much in from a face-off? The only time I'd really look at a kind of big level fight where I would read something in over a face-off was Joshua versus Usyk, the rematch, where Anthony Joshua seemed to make it his goal to win that face-off, which he didn't. That was what it was with Joshua. That was his kind of thing, to win that face-off. It reminds me actually as well of Wilder Fury 3, the way they were doing it, where Wilder was kind of just had the headphones on, checking out. No, nothing's gonna happen. You're not gonna get in on me. You're not gonna do that. And I think that played into Fury's hands, even if he thought, oh, you're not getting. I think it sort of did. This is a strange one because Fury is the sort of guy where he speaks about it. He wants to get the one up on people. You know, when you see the face-off he had with Vladimir Klitschko, the one Sky did with Johnny Nelson, he brought up that sauna story where he said that it was him and Klitschko in a sauna, and he made it his goal to stay longer in that sauna, to beat Vladimir Klitschko in that sauna. And Klitschko, remember that. I think that shook Klitschko up a bit. So Fury's always been someone where he wants to get those little mental victories. And in this one, I don't want to say it's a smoking gun, no. At the end of the day, like, I kind of thought Fury just kind of just looked a bit, you know, zoned out almost when he was looking at the camera and Usyk was staring at him. But it is strange, you know. Fury's always been someone where he's talking high of himself, and, you know, he's saying this, that, and the other. Or in some cases he's not even. Some cases he's saying, you know, going into a fight, he's like, you know, are you going to win? Of course I'm going to win. Do you know why I'm going to win? I'm just better than him. Look at the shape I'm in. Does this look like a fighter who's in shape? No. But does it matter? No. Why? Because I'm better. We're not seeing that with this. It really is. You know, at the end of the day, I always say, like, when you look at a fighter and you look at certain things they're doing, when they're acting out of character, and I do sort of think this is a bit out of character for Tyson Fury, then you do kind of stop and think, well, hang on a minute. You know, I don't want to labour the point here. I don't want to go on too long. But I remember when Anthony Joshua lost to Alexander Usyk in the rematch. And obviously I felt that Joshua needed a big reset after that. And I remember doing a video when he was in... No, sorry, it was the first fight he lost. It was the first fight. And I felt that he didn't need to take the Usyk rematch immediately. He should have just maybe took the step aside, looked at other options, and this, that, and the other. Now, Joshua's always been someone where normally when he's given an interview, you know, it's the same old, you know, yada, 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 this, that, and the third. In this particular interview, he was in Dubai. I think he was getting interviewed by Coogan or Umar. I think it was IFL. And he instantly contradicted himself, which is something that you would see Tyson Fury do. That's almost in his character, but it's not in Joshua's character. And when Joshua did it, I was like, okay, that's a bit weird. And what he contradicted himself in was, he was like, I'm fighting Usyk next, and no step aside money. I told my team I don't even want to know about step aside money. And I think Coogan or someone said, so if the offer's big, oh yeah, we'll hear it. And if the offer's big, we'll certainly consider it. And you're just like, never mind. Fury would be the kind of guy who would do that, and that's kind of normal, but not with Joshua. And with Fury going into this fight, there's things he's doing that you're kind of looking and you're like, that's new. Didn't see that before. So it is a strange one. I don't know. Do you know, I'm not changing my pick. Believe me, I'm not. But going into the fight, when I did the prediction video, I was fairly sure Usyk to win on points. I don't know. There's just a weird feel about this fight. I'm excited, but there's a weird... I don't know what we're going to get. There's a part of me that thinks it's going to be a close fight, and Fury might scrape it, Usyk might scrape it. Then there's another part of me that just thinks this is going to be a walkover for Usyk. I would say that's the kind of lesser of the two. It's more so, I think it's going to be a very close fight, and it could go either way, but it just has a really weird feeling. As you know with me, like, I'm interested in a lot of things. I'm interested in, like, the sports psychology of things, like, what's that fighter doing? Why did he say that? And why did he do that? And why did that fighter do that? Looking at it is interesting, and this has been just... I'm sure Chris Andre, if he's around, if he's watching, he's having a field day with this, you know, because I know he likes it as well. It's a really, really strange one to look at. I'm compelled to watch it. I was already compelled to watch it, but this has been interesting. It's been an interesting build up. We're nearly there at the time of recording. We're roughly, well, actually, we probably are 48 hours away, because it's just after 10 p.m. UK time. So I would imagine that it's going to be roughly, we might be waiting for the main event, or the ring walks might already be happening. So, mate, lads, we are going to be having fun on Saturday night. We're going to watch this fight live, give our reactions, and this is going to be a big, big weekend in the world of boxing. This has a feel like I've never felt for a fight. I'm not just talking about excitement, just everything. It just feels different in a good way. It really does. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below on the press conference, what you thought. Fury not facing off with Usyk. Is that a smoking gun that, okay, yeah, he is rattled? Or do you think that this is all part of a bigger plan? Let me know in the comments. Smash the like button if you could. And subscribe, of course, if you haven't already. We're on the push to 20k, lads. Next stop 19, final stop 20. Boom. Let me know your thoughts. Hope you enjoyed it. Peace.